Video Journal. Come on in, kings and queens, for our conversation today. I'm just typing in. You're watching my TriCast. It's TriCast live on YouTube, on Facebook, and on LinkedIn. So if you are new to the conversation, we want to welcome you. If you are returning, we want to welcome you back. If you would like to join the conversation, feel free to comment. Also, like, share, and subscribe. So the next time I go live, you can get that notification. And if you like to text me your comments, you can reach me at area code 214-919-9360. Again, you're watching my video version of my journal. I'm Steffanie Rivers. And tonight we're going to talk a little bit about how a bill becomes a law. If you are old enough to remember, you probably remember the Saturday morning program called Schoolhouse Rock, where the little animated Bill said, "I'm just a Bill. Yes, I'm only a Bill. And I'm sitting here on Capitol Hill." And they really explained to you how Bill gets turned into a law. Essentially, a congressperson presents a bill, they get support, it's voted on in the House of Representatives, and then it's passed to Congress, they vote on it, and if both the House and the Senate pass it or approve it, it goes to the president to be signed, and it becomes a law. So that's how a bill becomes a law. Or if the president also has the power to create a law via executive order. That means that the president can create or change or reverse a law just by the stroke of a pen, by signing it into law. That's called an executive order. Now, why are we talking about that today? Because remember the phone call, the audio call where then President-elect Joe Biden was on the call with a lot of the Black community leaders, and he talked about how the use of executive orders, he didn't want to use that to enact or erase or make laws because of how limited it was, and that he didn't want to do that to jumpstart the Black agenda, because they were talking to him about things that they wanted him to address for our community. Remember that? And it was the audio, and he was sounding all paternal, like he was everybody's daddy. He was talking about how, he just wasn't going to do that because it wasn't the best way to do it. But after he was sworn in last week, now President Joe Biden, in the first 24 hours, he passed about a dozen laws via executive order. He wasted no time in using his executive power to pass laws. But wait a minute, Joe Biden, you told us that you didn't want to use your executive power to kickstart the Black agenda, because you said that you wanted us to wait for the Georgia Senate runoffs to happen, because you did not want to jeopardize getting the Democratic majority in the Senate. Remember that? But both Raphael Warnock and the Ossoff guy, I forgot his name, Ossoff, they both won their races. So you have that senatorial majority in the House and the Senate. So now that's not an issue with you going forth to kickstart the Black agenda. But you use your executive power to lift the ban on Muslims, the Muslim travel ban. You use your executive power to extend the hold on student loan payments and interest. You use the executive power to extend the moratorium on evictions and on foreclosures. You use your executive power to enact a mandatory, a federal mask law that says everybody who's traveling on public transportation, planes, trains, automobiles, now they must wear a mask. So you did a bunch of stuff to enact using your executive privileges. He did a lot of stuff, President Joe Biden. But when it comes to the Black agenda, when it comes to doing anything to help African Americans in our community, we were told that's just not gonna work because of all the limitations of executive order. But you spent your first 24 hours doing just that, enacting things for other communities and other people. Now, that's not to say there aren't Black people who have student loans, or Black people getting evicted, or Black people who are getting foreclosed on. That's not to say that. But why is it that the only time that African American communities get favorable legislation is when our boats, our Black boats, only get lifted when other communities are getting lifted at the same time? Remember that phrase, all tides lift, what's the phrase? All tides lift all boats, and that we should be happy with that as African Americans. Why is the only time that our boats get lifted is when everybody else's boats are getting lifted, which essentially puts us in the same situation, which is at the end of the line. So we see the sense of urgency in our community is not there when it comes to helping us. But what happened with the election when Joe Biden needed somebody to lift his boat because his boat was going down the river with no paddle? Remember that when the South Carolina voters, Black South Carolina voters, came to his aid and helped to revive his campaign. But now we are left feeling like the middle of a donut, left out. So this is why, another reason why African Americans need their own political party, y'all. We need to stop looking to other political parties to recognize us and to respect us and to make our agenda a priority, because it's not going to happen. Now, at this point, some of us are so shell-shocked at having to deal with the merry-go-round administration and all the lies and the cheating of the previous administration. Some of us are just happy to have a normal person in the White House. But now is not the time for us to exhale and go on vacation. Now it's time for us to take advantage of the chaos that is the Republican Party and jump in there and create our own party. Now is not the time to go on vacation. Now's the time to hit the ground running. So that's what we need to do. We need to start our own political party. And just so that we're all on the same page, I'm calling it the FUBU Party for now. Of course, we can come together and create a name, but FUBU, for us, by us party. That's what we need. Because for so long, African Americans have had to choose between the lesser of two evils. And at this point, it's like, we've all probably gone to the grocery store and bought groceries, and then you pay for the groceries and you walk out with the groceries. Have you ever gone to the grocery store, picked out the groceries, know what you need to build your dinner for that night and for the next week, and then you leave the groceries and you say, oh, that's okay. I paid for the groceries, but I don't want the groceries. Why would you not do that? Because that's insane. So what we as African Americans have been doing when it comes to politics is we've been paying for something and getting nothing in return and saying, oh, that's okay, but I'm gonna support you anyway. So we need to stop doing what the definition of insanity is, expecting something different, but doing the same thing. We need to do something different if we expect something different. And that something different is create our own political party. Now, I know that supporting candidates, I know that we're not monolithic in the way that we think, but there are a few issues that I'm sure no matter where you live in the United States as an African American, we can get around, we can rally around, we can support those issues. But before we get to those issues, some of you are already saying, but how is it's hard to start your own party. It's hard to get the financial backing, and it's hard to organize. And sure, anything worth having is going to be hard to do. It's going to take effort. If it was simple to do, there would be more than two parties. There would be more than, of course, we've also always had the Green Party, but Republicans, Democrats, we've had the Green Party, we've had other parties before. But if it was that easy, there'd be a whole lot more of the different political parties. But let's look at Senator Bernie Sanders from Vermont for a short while, an instance. This man, he became, a meme sensation, wearing the mittens. Everybody's talking about Bernie. Bernie's been in the game for some time as an independent. Now he's even gotten as far as he's got national notoriety. Everybody knows him, Uncle Bernie. He's cantankerous old dude who does things, says things that your old uncle, old grandfather would do and say. So he's growing on us. But my point is that if this cantankerous old mean mitten wearing dude can be an independent amongst all the Democrats and Republicans, with all the support that we have in our community, whether it be money, whether it be influence, whether it be skills and talents, we should be able to come up with our own political party started on a local level with 3 or 4 core issues that no matter where you go across the country, this FUBU party, this is what they're about. Now, of course, on a local level, you might have some local issues that you're dealing with, but I'm sure that we, as diverse as we are, can come up with a few issues, I know 3, that we should start off with. Now, before we get into those issues, I want you to like, share, and subscribe. You're watching Steffanie. I'm Steffanie Rivers. You're watching me on my video version. I also print a written version on eurweb.com. So be sure and go there. And what are some of the political issues that you might want to see in your own political party? Because I'm about to tell you mine. So here are 3 of the issues that I know that we could rally around as African Americans, no matter where you live in the country. And one of them is reparations for ADOS, African descendants of slaves. Now, some of you are already saying, oh, but who would qualify for that? Who doesn't qualify? Because you've got people that are Africans that have immigrated here. You've got some that were brought here. So essentially, that's a sidebar issue. What we need to do is we need to get on the same page to let the current Congress know and the current president know that reparations is a must. Discussions of reparations for ADOS, African descendants of slaves, is a must. That's the first issue that we need to rally around as our platform. The second one would be community policing. Community policing meaning police officers have to live in the jurisdiction of municipality where they live, because that's going to cut down unarmed killings by police officers of Black people. Because after what we saw January 6th, storming of the Capitol, and how those police officers were so nonviolent, so did not fear for their lives, of all these violent, salty people up on Capitol Hill, and only one person got shot. Now, I'm not saying we want people to get shot. I'm saying we want police to not shoot us like they don't shoot them. So, going back, we want community policing because when police officers stop somebody who looks like them, who their kids go to school with their kids, they go to church, they see them in the grocery store line, they treat them differently. They treat them with more respect, just like they did on Capitol Hill. So going back over there where you live and police those people and be nice and treat them civil. And the police officers who live in this community, let them come over here and police the people where they live. You'll see it decrease. You'll see police shootings and killings of unarmed Black people. You will see that decrease drastically. So number one is reparations for our new party. Number two is defunding the police until they do community policing. That's what we need. Number three would be the abolishment of no-knock search warrants. So those three, I'm sure we could rally around those three as the African American community, no matter where you live in the United States. Now, if you're a Black person in America and you don't want reparations, you don't want community policing because you're okay with them shooting and killing unarmed Black people, and you are okay with no-knock search warrants because you're okay with them, even if it's your house, them busting up in your house and shooting up the place and killing you and your kids off of them trying to serve a warrant that they don't even know if they're in the right place or not, let me know. Text me and tell me your name and why you are against it. And I'm going to have you on my show so we can debate the issue. So let me say, if you are against, and while I'm typing this, you can like, share, and subscribe to my channel. You're watching Steffanie Rivers, and this is the video version of my column, of my journal. Okay, so I just said, if you are against reparations or abolishing no-knock search warrants, or you don't want to defund the police to have more community police programs, text me so we can talk about it. Because like I said, you might have a legitimate point of view, and I love to hear it. Although I'm sure if you or anybody, you probably know somebody who has been affected by one of those three. We all been affected by reparations. Who wants to build wealth, work? Let's say your job. Would you just show up to your job every single day and knowing that you're getting paid a certain amount and then just hand that money over to somebody else and be okay with it? I don't think so. So for hundreds of years, lots of African Americans have built wealth through their labor, through through what if they built a business? They built businesses through labor, slave labor, or just working a job, and for whatever reason, was stolen from them. Now we know as slave labor helped the business owners to save in their expenses that come along with paying people to do the work. If you don't have to pay people to do the work, of course you're going to be worth millions of dollars. Of course you're going to create wealth because you've erased millions of dollars in expenses that you would have had to pay had you been paying for the labor. So I think those are the three issues that we can rally around. And there are a few more, but let's just stick to those three. Now, so we need to start in our communities looking for possible candidates, potential candidates who will run for office that we support financially, and in exchange, because this is about an exchange, in exchange for our vote and support, then they will push our platform, our issues, and help our community, because that's the way it's done. So that's what we need to do. But in the meantime, what we need to do is hold accountable the people who are already in office, who already got our vote, who are already supposed to be representing our district. So that leads me to the Congressional Black Caucus. The Congressional Black Caucus. Now, I'm not sure what their objective is collectively, but here's what I decided to do as a part of the research. If you're not familiar with it, there is a bill. It's called HR. I think HR stands for House Resolution, Bill number 40. That bill was put forth. It was written by Congresswoman Sheila Jackson Lee. Congresswoman Sheila Jackson Lee she represents the District of Houston, Texas, and her bill is simply to start studying reparations and what it would take to pay reparations and what that entails. Which, with anything that you want to do the research and see how would we make this happen. So that's one of the first steps. So you would think that every member of the Congressional Black Caucus, because in order to be a member of CBC, you have to be an African American or be of African American descent. You would think every member of the CBC would be in support of reparations, but y'all, guess what? There are about 5 members of the CBC, Congressional Black Caucus, who are not in support of it, or let me say, at least they have not put on paper that they are in support of it, whether it's support of it or a co-sponsor of it. Why would that be? Why would you not? Even if you personally don't want reparations, which I don't see why you wouldn't, you are there to represent your district. And you can't tell me that you didn't have any Black people vote for you to put you in that position. So I'm about to go into who is not in support of Congresswoman Sheila Jackson Lee's HR 40 to study reparations. And if this person is your representative or you know anybody who lives in their district, we need to start demanding that they be a part of this legislation so we can move forward. And if they are not willing to move forward, we need to move them out of the way because we need to keep it moving. It is now time for us to hold whoever it is, hold them accountable. I don't care who it is, we need to hold them accountable because we are losing time. We have wasted too much time, and we need people who are going to be there for us and not just holding a position. So let me see something else. Oh, there is a person in Congress who is African American, but he is not a member of the Congressional Black Caucus. And I'm not sure if that's a mistake. I'm not sure if he doesn't identify as being a Black man. I'm not sure if he doesn't like what they're about. Therefore, he doesn't feel the need. But for some reason, South Carolina Senator Tim Scott is not a member of the CDC. So if you know anybody who lives in South Carolina, y'all need to find out why Tim Scott feels like why it is not important for him to be a member of the CBC, the Congressional Black Caucus. We need to find out why that is. That's first of all. Second of all, let's go through the members of Congress who are not supporting Congresswoman Sheila Jackson Lee's H.R. 40, which is the first step in getting reparations for African Americans, African descendants of slaves. Who are these people? You'd be surprised. The first one I'm going to talk about now. Here's what I'm about to do. I'm about to share my screen. Last week, I had such a positive experience. I had good results with trying to share my screen. So I'm going to try it again and see what happens. And I don't want to spend all day doing this either. First of all, I got to get rid of that. Okay, so I'm going to try to bring that up. Then I'm going to go back here. And then I'm going to go there. Yes. Okay, so you should be seeing this. These are the people who have not put down on paper that they are in support of a reparations legislation that would to study reparations. Senator Cory Booker, the man who ran for president, the man who is out of New Jersey, been in Congress since 2013. I got 2013. Since 2013, he has been a senator, or at least in Congress. He is not on record as supporting the H.R. 40 bill to study reparations. Y'all need to get him. Senator Cory Booker, if you live in his district, y'all need to get him. At Senator Booker, that's his social media handle. We need to get him, ask him why he's not supporting it. Now, I was going to talk about her last, but since she's there, Kamala Harris, now Vice President Kamala Harris, y'all, she had been in Congress since 2017. She is not on record as supporting this bill. Now, I know she's had a lot of interviews lately, and she hems and haws and talks about how she's not going to do stuff just for Black people because she is for all the people. But let's get with the vice president and let's find out why she is not in support of a bill that, when she's running, she's running as a Black woman with the pearls and the tennis shoes from Howard University and doing all this hemming and hawing and getting support from Black people, from Black women. But when it comes to supporting the Black community by supporting that bill, co-sponsoring it, for some reason, since 2017, she has not found her way to put her John Hancock, on the dotted line. We need to get with Kamala Harris. We need to get with Representative Colin Allred from Texas. He is my representative in my district, and y'all, I'm on it. I've been on it. And I'm going to tell you this, if I can't get him to address me specifically and this issue specifically, he will not be getting my vote. And I'm going to make sure everybody I talk to knows why they should not vote for him. So let's get at him. If you live in Colin Allred's district in Texas, in Dallas, Texas, get at him. That's his handle, at Rep Colin Allred. Lucy McBath out of Georgia. Now, she is, I'll tell you her background in case you don't know. Lucy McBath's son was Jordan. I forgot Jordan's last name. His last name was his father's last name. Lucy McBath is Jordan's mother. Jordan was the teenage boy who was shot at the gas station in Jacksonville, Florida. The loud music, the guy shot him, drove off. It was the next day before the police caught up with him and shot into the car because the loud music. And he said that he thought he saw a gun, the guy who shot him, who's now serving life in prison, or got him for murdering Jordan. Lucy McBath is Jordan's mother. So, we feel for her, and we on certain issues, you might be with some people, but on this issue, Miss McBath, we don't know why you haven't supported that bill for reparations, but we need to have some answers. Get at her. Representative Lucy McBath, if you live in her district in Georgia, ask her why she hasn't supported that bill. Representative Underwood. I had these people's first names, but anyway. Representative Underwood of Illinois, been in Congress since 2018. Ask her why she has not found her way to support that bill, HR 40. Get at her, Representative Underwood. That's her social media handle. And Representative Delgado of New York, been in Congress since 2018. Get at him. That's his social media handle. So these are the people that we need to, there we go. These are the people that we need to get at because they have not found their way to supporting Congresswoman Sheila Jackson Lee's HR 40 bill to start the ball rolling to get us reparations. We need to know why. And we need to start asking questions ahead of time. So the next time somebody comes to you, because when you start asking getting into political arenas and having political debates, people want to know, you need your own party. Well, what is it that you would ask for? Like you ain't thought about it. You tell them. The top three would be reparations. It would be community policing, which means defund the police until they start doing community policing. And number three would be the abolishment of no-knock search warrants. We can start with those three. So if you haven't already, I need you to like, share, and subscribe to my journal so that the next time I post, mostly on Sundays, you will be the first to know. Now, let me say this about the Congressional Black Caucus site. They still have Congressman, the guy who died, I apologize, the congressperson who just died recently, who his term was good trouble. His mantra was good trouble. He's still on the site. His picture's not on the site, but they still have his name in and around the site. So I did try to click on Kamala Harris's information. Her picture is still up there as a senator. And there are new people who were newly added to Congress in 2020 because they won in November 2020, and they are not on there. So they need to, somebody, hello, CBC webmaster, y'all need to update your site. It's January 2021. It's a lot that's gone down since last November. So update your site. But what I do want to say is there are people on there who were, even though their pictures aren't up, the co-sponsors of the bill, some of them arrived in Congress in 2020. So if you've been there since 2013, Senator Booker, or you've been there since 2018, and it says that you are not a sponsor, then that's probably accurate that you are not one of the co-sponsors or supporters. So I know, with updates and everything, the information might not be as current as yesterday, but I'm pretty sure that, because you know what? I want to shout her out. What is her name? Her name is Congresswoman Cory from the St. Louis area. She is on it. She has joined in a lot of debates and issues, and she's supporting the bill as well. She's one of the supporters of HR 40, but it didn't say that on the site. But I know that because she is so vocal with what she does support and what she doesn't support, and she jumped in and she's making a name for herself. And that's not to say the loudest person is the one that's doing the most work, but she is not there for show. You can tell she's there to get something done. And immediately, so I want to give her a shout out, because even though her picture isn't on the CBC website, I know that she is there for her people and to represent the people. Okay, so shout out to you, Cory. I can't remember her last name, and I apologize. But if you're from St. Louis area, you know your 2020 new Congresswoman, first name Cory. Y'all know who I'm talking about. Okay, so anyway, that's what I want us to do. We gotta start. I know it's hard to get caught up in the everyday situation, and some of y'all might be halfway looking at me and halfway looking at the football game and all that. But you know what? They making millions of dollars, and that's why they keep playing them games, because y'all keep looking and the advertisers keep doing commercials and stuff. But in the meantime, you gotta, you know what I'm saying? You gotta watch what's going on in your community, in your area, in your neighborhood, because they gonna make their money. You need to make sure you are set and your children are set. So that's why it's important for us to make sure that we get with the CBC members who have not signed the bill. And let's look at them one more time. Let me see if I can pull them up. Nope, that ain't it. Okay, there it is. All right. Senator Cory Booker, Vice President Kamala Harris, Representative Colin Allred, Representative Lucy McBath, Representative Underwood, and Representative Delgado. Those are the 6 current Congressional Black Caucus members who have not supported the bill, HR 40, that was sponsored and written by Congresswoman Sheila Jackson Lee, that is to start the research to see what it's going to take for the federal government to pay reparations to aid those African descendants of slaves. So we need to get on that. And we also, if you have political aspirations, let me put down here, and you want our support, the new Black Party, political party. If you want the new Black political party to support your candidacy, then I need you to text me. Just typing it in. All right, if you want the new Black political party, I forgot the word party, to support your campaign, text me at 214-919-9360, because we need to kick off this now, because people are coming up for re-election and all this stuff, all these Congress people who supported, who tweeted about, we in support of these people storming Capitol Hill, and we this, that, and the third, and they try to I don't want to say his name wrong. Pete Sessions, that's who it is. Pete Sessions, he's out of Texas too. He tried to delete that tweet, but I got a screenshot of it. So I'm gonna be helping somebody take his place when he is up for re-election. You heard? All right. So at any rate, if you want to talk to me about anything, you can text me. You can hit me up on the comments. And this is just, it's time for us to make a change. And we need to do it not yesterday, not next month, but as soon as possible. So to find out more about the things that I care about, go to the written version of my journal, and that's at eurweb.com. Thanks, and have a super day.